Hey, Matt, thank you so much for joining me today to talk more about talent optimization. Would you mind sharing a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
I'd be happy to, Kelsey. Thanks for having me. So my name is Matt Poepsel. I am the Vice President of Partner Growth at the Predictive Index, which is a talent optimization platform company based in Westwood, Massachusetts. I'm also known as the Godfather of Talent Optimization, this brand new discipline that I think we're going to spend quite a bit of time today talking about.
Absolutely. Well, Matt, do you mind telling us a little bit more about what is talent optimization?
Yeah, of course. So talent optimization is, I like to refer to it as a strategic process that produces optimal business results by maximizing the performance and the experience of your employees. So that's a mouthful, but basically what it breaks down to is that if we make sure that our employees across all of our teams and leaders at every level of our organization can work and perform at their best, then the business is going to benefit as a result. So it's really about putting your people practices under the microscope and making sure they're working together at their best in order to produce that optimal business result.
So how did this whole concept of talent optimization come about?
Yeah, so the company that I work for, the Predictive Index, has been around for more than 60 years. And so has been in the business of understanding people inside organizations and how they do their work, all these kinds of things for a long, long time. And going back a couple of years now, Drew Fortin, who's our head of sales and marketing, he and I were in his office and we were talking about the challenges that business leaders face and why they're having these problems. And we hit on this observation that come January, for example, start of a business period, all these leaders had these grandiose strategies and they were super excited about what's possible in their business. But by the time December comes around, you look back, very few of them were like, oh, we totally crushed it. Something fell a little bit short of what they had hoped for. And we came to realize that it's that people part in the middle, because at the end of the day, every business problem is a people problem. So we started to think about what are the people practices that sit in between the business strategy on the one hand and the business result on the other hand. And we started to identify a couple of key major buckets, if you will, of people practices. And they became design, which is all about teams working together; hire, which is all about how we take candidates and turn them into employees; inspire, how we actually work with those employees to help them coach and develop them to be at their best; and then diagnose, which is sort of a process where we look back over the last recent working period and say, where were employees experiencing sort of frustration? Where were their hot spots in the organization? So long story short, we started with the business and we ended with the business, and we really took a look at breaking apart that people part in the middle. That was exciting.
So, tell me what about talent optimization is exciting for you, Matt? I know you played a huge role in building this practice. Tell us more about your story.
Yeah, my story. So I came up in the business ranks. And so when I first started to work with individuals who were on my team, I really didn't understand the role of people in organizations. I was very much a technical business manager, I like to call an insecure business manager. And it was really all about the business and the technical aspects. I was reading all these books and learning all about how the mechanics of business worked, but I was neglecting the people part. And I had this terrible experience where I had to let go a woman who I had hired her, and she wasn't a good fit for the role. But I didn't understand the nature of people versus job requirements, and you can imagine it was really hard for me and certainly hard for her. And I didn't ever want that to happen again. So I set out to become what I call now an authentic people leader. I tried to find what my leadership style was all about. I really focused on the people parts of business and really becoming a leader in the organization. And I started to hit upon the aspects of people management, people leadership that really made a huge difference for me. So that was kind of my story before talent optimization really became a thing. I decided to pursue my PhD in coaching psychology and understand and really apply and learn what makes people at their best inside organizations. And I was so happy to find the Predictive Index in my example, which is one of many providers that goes out and tries to make this possible in organizations, and has become since the leading provider of talent optimization in terms of a platform to customers all over the world. So it's really been kind of a very interesting journey and a very worthwhile one. Now I'd like to accelerate that for other people and demystify some of the people parts of business through talent optimization and through a tool set like ours.
So you hit on a couple things there that really strike me, Matt. I mean, the first thing was your desire to become or to continuously become this more authentic people leader. For those out there that are also having that same desire, what advice do you have for them in how they can work towards becoming a more authentic people leader?
Yeah, leadership is a craft. You really have to study your craft. You have to apply it with deliberate practice in your day-to-day working situations. But I like to break it down into three key areas when I think about what it means to be an authentic people leader. The first is self-mastery. So you have to be good at your job if other people are going to look to you to be a leader. The second is inspiring others. So you can only accomplish so much on your own, but if you can paint a compelling vision of the future and you can have people follow you on that journey and join you alongside you, that's how you're going to get some scale and you can make really great things happen. And the third and final one is delivering results. We have to actually produce a meaningful impact on our business, our community, whatever it is that we're expressing in our domain of leadership. So those three things taken together for me are the three legs of the stool of being an authentic people leader over time.
I love that. And I think that's something that a lot of leaders are struggling with is how do I both manage the business, but also how can I bring the most to my people? And so both with being authentic, but also utilizing this talent optimization strategy, companies and their leaders can, it sounds like, become both better leaders, but also have a better plan for their people overall.
Yes,
And so
absolutely.
how would you, what are some other tips or advice for companies as they are looking at the big picture of talent optimization? What are a few things that they can do to better optimize their talent?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is to recognize talent optimization is a leadership framework. It's what every leader must do. They must have a clear picture of their strategy, the strategic intent, for example. They have to evaluate the results. Those are the two bookends, like I talked about, that Drew and I hit on so long ago. But then also apply themselves to each of those people practices, designing teams to fit the strategy, hiring when you have that opportunity to add to your team, inspiring your employees day to day, and then diagnosing wherever problems inevitably crop up. Those people problems can really be a drain on the business result. So this is a leadership framework because this is exactly what we expect leaders to do. My advice to leaders at every level of an organization, first would be to recognize that this talent optimization is a team sport. It's not HR's job. It's not the business alone can't do this. It's about partnership. So when you think about people leaders in an organization partnering with talent professionals, that's when good things can really start to happen. So it's not an HR framework and it's not a business framework. It's about two sides working together to produce those optimal employee experiences, highest levels of employee performance, but then ultimately that business result. The second is to use data. When it comes to people practices, unfortunately, a lot of us have convinced ourselves that we have to just go by gut, be subjective, kind of, it doesn't work out, it's a crapshoot, people are complex. These things just aren't true. When you have the right data, then you can make quantitative decisions about people, understand team dynamics, whatever those things might be. And the third one that I would leave us with is continuous improvement. It's not easy to get the people part of a business right, but that shouldn't stop us from starting down that path. When we just do even small things can make a huge difference in terms of that employee experience, employee performance, and ultimately produce a business result that's just more attractive and better, more optimal. So start small, dedicate yourself to continuously improving every week, every month, every year, and ultimately you can transform your business, but only if you start.
That is such fantastic advice, Matt. Thank you so much for all of your wise words around talent optimization. I think, again, a lot of the things you're saying are things that people need to hear. And I think there really are a lot of companies are really struggling with today. And so as we look towards wrapping up, are there any last tips or words of wisdom that you have for leaders that are looking to optimize their talent?
I think invest in understanding talent optimization for sure. When you think about, in our case at the Predictive Index, we like to use our mission statement, which is better work, better world. We really believe that if we can make the world's workplaces better, then the employees in those workplaces will take all that benefit and bring it home to their communities and to their families and have just a better experience overall. So people shouldn't be having a bad day at work. We just know too much about people and organizations and how to get it right. But we do have to put forward the effort to make it right. So if you believe in better work, better world, then definitely look into talent optimization. Start small. All these things just move the needle even just a little bit. It has a direct impact on your bottom line. So there's a business imperative to do it. And let's be honest, it's just the right thing to do with our people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, thank you so much, Matt. If a company is looking to find out more about talent optimization, of course, I'm a great resource. I know you're a great resource, Matt, but Well, are there any other ways that companies can look this up online? Where's the best place to find this information?
Yeah, if you go to talentoptimization.org, you'll find a lot of great resources there, including something that is known as the Ultimate Guide to Talent Optimization. It's a great reference to look at and really understand and break apart and see all the specific activities that support the discipline. That's a great place to start.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Matt, for your time. This has been a wonderful conversation. I appreciate all of your insights and feedback.
Thanks for having me with you, Kelsey. Really appreciate it.